Are we doing it yet?
Yeah, we've been doing it the whole time.
What? It's like us just talking like normal people. I was like, let's start this fucking charade. A little bit I know we've been doing it forever.
We've been doing it forever.
So when we started talking, we were doing it.
Yeah. Jim always does that to us. He just turns it on and goes.
That like pre-fun people talking, you know how we used to do that, talking on the balcony? I thought this was balcony talk.
No, there is no balcony talk anymore. We just get straight to it. Because Jim has a online show to get to after this. Jim is going to do online comedy.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It sounds scary.
It seems really, well, it'll be interesting. I'm ready to just, like, can you bomb in your own house? I don't think so. Like if you can just get up and walk away from it.
You just have to pretend you're a radio DJ and you're killing it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, basically.
I feel like I don't want to ruin every room in my house. You know what I mean? If I bomb in the
that's a good point.
And I never want to go into that. That's the bomb room. That's bomb. You know? And then if I do it in my living room, then I'll be in the kitchen. I'll just move the TV to the kitchen. I don't want to be in that. That's really I've really soured on the living room since I ate an online comedy show.
I'm supposed to do one on 420.
You're supposed to do one?
Yeah, my friend wants me to, but she's like, well, you can do 10 minutes. I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to do comedy or if I'm just going to read through my old comedy notes.
The weird thing about online comedy is you're sort of in this weird place where you're like, how is this better than a recorded version of me just doing this?
That's true.
Right? Like, what place are we in now where it's like, oh, well, we'll do online comedy. Like, well, we're still only halfway up the ladder of stand-up here. I could just play you a video of me doing it in front of people.
Yeah. Do you think that someone's going to figure out how to make it good? Like someone's going to figure out how to do like a comedy club online?
I think we'll end up getting way better at the interactive part of it. You know, like there'll be 250 people listening, and then you can just unmute somebody and go, "Look at your hair, you stupid idiot." And then, you know, so like as the person who's making the online content, you can get way better at like figuring out.
Yeah. Why don't they just do like online roasts then? Just get a bunch of comics and then you can come in, and if you're in the roast, you can get roasted.
But it's the same thing as like hockey without fans, right? Like it's kind of entertaining, it's kind of cool, but it's not the real thing. Like it'll just never be the real thing until you're allowed to do it again. Yeah.
Do you feel like President
I know that
Trump...
makes me sound old, like there is no replacement, but I really don't think there is.
For live?
For live, like doing stand up, like there's not going to be like, okay, cool, like now everybody's doing it online. They figured out like virtual comedy clubs or something, maybe virtual reality. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh my God. Do you think that I think this is going to go into the fall? I don't think we're going to get a summer, or the kind of summer that we expected to get.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're the canary in the economy's coal mine, right? Like we're going to we'll be the last thing to go back in place. Like we'll be
entertainment.
Yeah, like live entertainment where everybody's supposed to be boxed into a small room.
Yeah, because you're not. Yeah. This is depressing. Can we talk about something funny?
Sure. Talk about something uplifting like Kathleen's weight loss. I saw a picture from 2011.
I know. Did you see how big my face was? That was like my best like headshots. Like I got these headshots from this like really good photographer, but like I was like, oh my God, I look old in them. I think I look younger now than in that picture. Yeah.
I mean, that was like that was, you were just, well, what the hell was wrong with you back then? Were you just a big gal? You also had money, right?
No, I didn't.
No, I thought you had money.
No, I was living in Toronto in 2011. I had no money, like none. But no, I wasn't on my thyroid medication. That's one thing I wasn't on when I lived in Toronto. I wasn't.
Because you weren't on any meds out there. You were like,
I couldn't afford anything.
You were psychologically barebacking it.
Yeah, exactly. I was. I I was raw dogging my own psyche.
You're raw dogging your mental health.
I was. I think the reason why I've lost a lot of weight is I'm medicated, and I'm not even kidding you.
Well, you're in the middle of like a COVID pandemic, and you're like you love the stage, and you're still like thriving.
I'm having a great time. I'm just being a stay-at-home dog mom right now. I have, I'm learning how to run. It hurts though. Oh my God, it hurts to run.
You can't start after 35. Running isn't something that you just pick up after party. Your brain right now is just like, what are we doing? This is ridiculous. This is running. We're running now.
I just didn't want to sit at home anymore. I was getting sad sitting at home.
Walking isn't enough?
No, walking. I want to see if I can run for a 5K straight, which I don't think I will ever. That's 30 minutes at least. A normal person should be. I can not run like on this app I have. You're supposed to like warm up and then you run for a minute and then you walk for a minute and you run for a minute, and I never run the full minute. Just
get to about 56 seconds and then go to walk again.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is like what week is this that we've been doing this?
You sound like a robot.
The COVID thing, how long we've been, feels like it's been a year.
It does feel like it's been like a month.
I know, but it really feels like a long time that we've been doing this already.
Yeah.
Like
there's no end in sight.
And you're starting to see the rednecks pull away. Like it makes it like things that like Trump says, like they make a difference because rednecks across the globe listen to him. He's not just like somebody Americans look to. He's somebody that people right of center look to across the globe.
Yeah.
So if he is constantly talking about getting back at it, people are like, okay, we got to be chomping at the bit. Like we got to get back at this.
He wants sport. He said he misses sports. He doesn't care about health or people dying. He's like, I don't want to watch 14-year-old baseball games anymore. Like he literally said that.
Well, I read something today in the Washington Post where the checks that people were getting, the stimulus checks that people are getting will probably be delayed slightly because he wants his name to be printed on the checks.
Yeah.
Like so his name has to be on the checks and there's a delay because of it. And still half the country will be like, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm glad I got it Thursday and not Monday. I just would have blown it anyway. Like, Kathleen left.
Kathleen left.
Right in the middle of the podcast. What a bitch. Who cares what who approached you about this online show and why did you say yes?
Someone that I know through like the local art community, and I said yes because I felt pressure to. Well, no, like as a favor.
Yeah, somebody asked me to do an online show, and they're like, "Hey, we do this funny little thing every Friday. We do a little fun pub night, and maybe you could pop in and do a little comedy." And I think something about this virus has changed me because normally I would have been like, "Yeah," and then just not contacted them. But I told them in the moment, waiting for pizza, like I'm not going to be doing that. I didn't even come up with an excuse. I was just like, that's not something that's going to be happening that I'll be doing. I just couldn't lie about it. I think that's going to be my response to online comedy requests is just openly telling them no.
I have openly said no to a few people.
It just doesn't. I'm not built. I'm just not built. Some comedians can do it for sure. Like if you're just like, there's guys that we know that could easily just kind of jump on screen and tell their jokes. And
I think the super performer comedians can do it. Like the ones that like want to be actors as well.
Yeah, those guys.
I think the secret is you get to just assume laughs.
But oldie sub people can assume that. Like
that's true.
My assumption, my running assumption is that they hate me and they want me to stop.
That's true.
So I can't just flip that to like, they're probably laughing. Because what if they're not? What if you're in the middle of a joke and you're like, I'm sure they're loving this. And meanwhile, they're all texting each other going, who is this? I hate this guy. When is he done? Like, I prefer to see I don't know. I can't like you like tonight. Are you going to be like, okay, everybody's cool? Because people will be cool with it, right? They're not going to be like, this is stupid. Everybody's like, hey, we're all in this new world. Let's just see what fits, right?
Yeah.
They're cool with it now, but like a month from now or a few months from now, are all these comics going to be doing free shows and stuff all the time online now?
Music, that's where music has us killed, right? It's like you can have a musician playing and it's awesome, you know? Somebody can do an awesome live acoustic performance that you would pay money to see. But comedy, there's no acoustic version of stand-up, right? Like, like let's just break it down a notch and sing it tell my joke with a child.
Acoustic comedy. I would love to see acoustic comedy.
There's no way we can sort of just like it requires that, you know, sometimes that's what you forget is like how much you require that audience, right? The audience has to be interacting with the material as you're telling it, or it's worthless.
Yeah. And people will say, oh, well, there still is an audience, but it's a completely different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the same.
It's like, not the same at all.
Musicians don't stop halfway through a song and go, is there anybody into this? Or
that's what I was going to ask you. Like when you did that, how many times did you ask if anybody was into it?
Is anybody listening? No, I shouldn't have done what I did. Absolutely. I should have said, whoa, what am I doing? This isn't something Grandpa can handle. Because all I wanted to talk about was how crazy, you know, like, isn't this crazy what we're doing? And they were just like, yeah, this is what we do. We live, you know, like, because for me, like, I do stand up, I hang out with my kids. That's about it. I'm not doing Skype meetings. I've never done one.
Yeah, I always fuck up on Skype meetings.
Like, even this one, you've had to bail twice.
No, I screwed that one up because my brother was calling and I tried to hang up on him, but I hung up on you guys by accident. And then I was like, don't call me. I'm doing a podcast.
Have you done it during the coronavirus that you are ashamed of?
Have I done anything?
Yeah. Have you done something where you're like, oh, that wasn't social distancing. He.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, well, when I was at Costco, they have signs everywhere at the produce. Like if you pick it up, you have to get it. And then I found another, like, and this isn't totally my fault, but it was like, I got strawberries in the cooler and then I went out and there were better strawberries in another cooler. So I put those strawberries down and I took another one. So that's what as badass as I'm getting.
I don't care. When it comes to produce though, like, I mean, I don't give a shit. Like if
people are washing their groceries when they bring them in. I don't understand that.
Well, if I touch a green pepper and the underside of it is rotten, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, guess that's my green pepper.
Luck of the vegetable draw.
I guess this is the green pepper I get. I'm like, nope, this is going right back into the community.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to eat that green pepper. Nobody is. And whatever person picks up that rotten green pepper and takes it home and eats it, I want that person to
They should get sick.
They're the only people that deserve it.
Yeah.
Rotten. You pick up a rotten vegetable and choose to put it in your cart. Come on.
Yeah. I joined TikTok. That's something I'm not proud of.
What's wrong with TikTok?
It's so bad. It's so bad. But Rob Pugh is on it, or did a TikTok. He posted today. He's like, I did a TikTok. I don't know. I don't even know who I am anymore or something. And I'm like, yeah, the world is ending if Rob Pugh is doing TikTok. But
God. I'm just trying to picture him in pigtails right now. Doing his fucking Uncle Robbie pigtails TikTok. But his TikToks would be, what is it? I thought TikTok was just like, you know, lip syncing.
That's all it is. It's dancing and stuff. But there are some people that are actually creating original content. But for the most part, you create something and then about 80 people just steal the audio of it and redo it the way they want to do it. It's kind of really weird. And it's kind of like says something about us that we can't be original anymore. Like,
or we don't need to be.
We don't need to be original anymore because people are like, and all these people who are like, they're like, nobody's all of a sudden they have like 100,000 followers on TikToks and they're walking around like, I'm TikTok. It's really funny. It's really weird.
We live in a time where like the greatest musical geniuses that we would consider to be like, these guys are unbelievable, you know, how much of their work is sampled, right? Like, so even like our top artists are sampling the shit out of everything. So why wouldn't a little girl in Nebraska making a song? Like, why would we expect more of her than Kanye West? Well, you're frozen again.
Oh, it's true. Me? It's my connection then. You know what? I'm going to call Shaw and I'm going to yell at them. It says poor connection. Ugh.
Oh, God. Quit putting
Am I totally frozen?
Oh, you're good.
Am I good?
Is your router inside your body? Did we lose her? Who the hell did we lose? That's the thing about doing these is like every time the video craps out, I'm like, who's it still on this?
Yeah.
Is Jim frozen or is he just smiling?
You guys sound like a speak and spell to me. Fuck.
God damn it.
It's not me, it's Shaw.
I'm trying to write like a script and I don't think I ever really dawned on me how hard writing a show, like, you know how comedians they're always like, oh, somebody should do a show about this. Yeah. And then you start writing it and then you realize like, hard. Oh, this is way harder than just sitting around saying somebody should write a show about this. You know, like this, like actually trying to develop characters and have it make sense. Because that's the thing, like I can write a script and have it make total sense to me and be like, oh, this is a good script. Here, look at all this fun dialogue. Everybody should be laughing sometimes. But then if I give it to anybody else, they'll be like, what are they doing? What? They went from a Mexican restaurant to Disneyland? And it's like, oh yeah, they had to for the joke.
Well, people think like, I even think like when you write a script, you just sit down and you write the dialogue. But like, I tried to do that with some comics in LA. We wrote a script and it was just like, we were like, the first day we were like, oh, this is a lot harder. Like, we have to actually figure out who these people are and like why they're doing it. I'm like, this is why comics don't follow up on their goals and dreams. It's just we do it for 10 minutes and we're like, oh, this is hard.
Yeah. Well, and then the idea of like, if you're going to write a script, it means that you're committing to writing 8 versions of it, right? Like you have to write it once, again, to the point where you're so bored of it and none of it's funny to you that to see that through is not in our DNA. Yeah,
we're bored as hell. It's not fun.
At the end of it, you're writing like a law paper. You know? That's
why you know all those like comedy writers are all from Harvard and stuff like that. That's why they're successful because they have the work ethic. If you get into Harvard, you got the work ethic. But like regular comics, I know some really fucking funny people, but like if you put them in a writer's room, they would fail miserably. I don't think I'd succeed in a writer's room.
Well, what writers are good at is like, okay, this is the template, this is the structure, this is what we have. These are the boxes we have to tick in every scene, and then they punch it up from there. You know, whereas we are like trying to write it as funny as possible right out of the gate, and it's like, well, who cares about how funny it is? You're just trying to put the skeleton together, but it's really hard.
It's very hard.
Like when I was looking at these templates for shows, I was like, I had written, maybe like 10 scenes and it was like 25 pages or something. And I was like, okay, well, like I'm getting there. This is, kind of almost a completed version of this script. And then I started looking at templates of sitcoms like Parks and Rec. And they're like, okay, in the middle of Act 2, now you're going to get into your 8th beat of your A story.
I don't get that at all.
And I'm like, beat of my A story? Like this. So basically what they mean is like the 8th time that you've come back and had a separate little scene regarding your top story in your script. And I'm like, well, I've hit it twice. Like I'm not so you have to, it's way more scenes and, it's insane. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to complete it. I'm just like, I don't know if I have the will to do this. I'm so lazy.
And also I don't have the attention span. Like I'm medicated, but I still can't just sit down and like write. Like good for the people that can do that, but it's not me. I'll get too distracted.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it, but I guess with stand up there's an immediacy to it where it's like I'm either doing this or I'm failing, like I have to do this. Whereas with writing a script, nobody's up your ass to be like, hey, finish that, like it's not like grade 12 where you got to get it for your departmental exams. Like, there's nobody pushing you and you're like, who's going to shoot this anyway? Like, it's such a low percentage play that it's easy to talk yourself out of writing it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Aren't all the grade 12s not having to write their diploma exams?
That'd be pretty sweet.
I think that they don't have to, but they're also not getting a grad. Like my friend's daughter is in grade 12 this year, and she's like, well, it sucks, but we don't get a grad. But I don't think they have to write their diplomas, which is the worst.
No grad would be fucking. I mean, we had dry grad. Did you ever have dry grad?
No, we had safe grad, so that everybody could go and get fucked up in a field, and then some parents would stand around and watch us until they had to roll us onto school buses to take us home.
Yeah, I think we had a dry grad that ended up being a safe grad. Like it was supposed to be dry, and then it ended up getting extremely wet. It was a very wet grad.
I love wet grad.
And then people, there was like a band or something. But I just remember, I mean, what were we doing? Like we were like 16, 17-year-old. We were just trashed.
Yeah.
It was we were out in a field. It was like Lord of the Flies. There was fights. People were fighting all over the place. So people lighting hay bales on fire. And you're like, that's grad.
That's why I feel bad for the grads this year. Because literally the whole point of getting through school for some people is like, well, I get to have grad at the end of this. I get to go and dance and put a fancy dress
80%
on.
80% of the people that we graduated with, that was the academic pinnacle of their life. Right? Like, for me, and like, that's it. I didn't fucking get a degree. So it's a good thing I did party. Subsequent parties of the graduation type. I didn't graduate from anything doing anything. That was it. High school maxed out.
High school was if you look back on I remember going to high school parties and just literally we had one that we called Bar Fest because like everybody threw up in this one rich kid's house.
It was always a rich kid. It was always a rich kid.
Well, yeah, the poor kids don't want everyone coming to their house.
Well, I think it's because the rich kids were the only ones whose parents could afford time away from their children.
Yeah.
Like literally. So like poor people's parents were at every Friday and Saturday, 52 weeks a year, they were home. They weren't going anywhere. So what was the point in partying there? It was the rich kids' parents who were like, we're going to Jasper skiing. See you guys later. Here's $200.
Oh my God. That's true. That is true. Because my parents never vacationed or anything. I never got to have that. Like, oh, my parents are out of town. Let's have a secret party. No, they were always in town. Although my mom was one of those, like, if you get drunk, I want you to get drunk at home, not in some bush. So she let me have a house party once, and she just went to the casino and came home a bit later.
I don't know. I mean, I remember like I had a classic party. I never had parties at my place either, but then I had one party where like the people that were there blew the speakers in my parents' sound system.
Oh no.
So just like guaranteed busted, right? Like there's no way that the next time your dad throws on a fucking compact disc, he's going to be like, what the fuck? So I was screwed. And I played it all the way out. I tried to pretend like, so the speakers came on and they were just like they were just fucked.
I remember we'd go to my school at like lunch because I lived across the field, and all my girlfriends would come over, and my parents weren't big drinkers, so we didn't notice if anything was gone. And they had a bottle of Malibu and a bottle of gin. And I remember before like a school dance, we went to my house and everybody like took a sip of the Malibu. And then one of my friends was like drinking the gin like hard, like she was an adult woman. She barfed all over that dance. That was a good one. Yeah.
Well, and you've had the same friends, right? Like since that, like is Jana still your friend? Like
yeah. Well, it's mostly just Jana. I mean, I still know a few of the people. I'm not like close friends with any of them, with anyone from school.
No, I mean you lose touch so fast. In a moment, you're like, this is everything, and then the next year, you're like, who? I don't know these people. Like I would stop and talk, and I would, if I saw them at a grocery store, I'd be like, oh hey, You know, you wouldn't even stop. You just be like, hey.
Or you would hope that neither of you, I love that when you see someone and you're like, okay, I hope they don't want to talk to me either. And you just kind of see each other and then you're like, no, I don't know who you are. I do that all the time.
I do a lot of, like, if I see somebody that I know and I determine that it's going to have to be a stop and chat, I'll go to where the like condoms and stuff are.
Go stand by something super embarrassing.
Yeah, because then even if they come around to get like condoms or something, then it's like they don't want to talk to me because they're like, somebody knows I have sex.
Once a year.
So I just stand by the condoms and then I would see them at the checkout. And then once I know they're at the checkout, then I'll start my shopping process. But I won't risk a stop and chat at a grocery store.
No, because then you're there for too long. When you buy condoms, do you like buy a bunch of needless stuff with it? Or do you just put down the condoms and be like, I have a dick?
I usually just there's 3 7-Elevens in my town, and one of them is for like junk food, one of them is for cigarettes and batteries, and one of them is for condoms and toilet.
What? Which one is the condom and toilet paper 7-Eleven?
That's the farthest from my home. So I'll drive across town for things like that. Because those ladies, they hardly ever see me, you know what I mean? They don't know what's going on.
I remember when I worked at a grocery store.
You don't buy condoms at the same 7-Eleven where you buy Slurpees and hot dogs. Like,
why not?
You just shouldn't.
You shouldn't buy condoms from 7-Eleven, period.
What? They're packaged. It's not like they're at the front door by the fucking chocolates.
It always seems like you're in such a rush, though, if you're buying it at a 7-Eleven.
Usually 7-Eleven, yeah. That's my store. That's where I get everything, though. You
do all your grocery shopping at 7-Eleven?
More than a person should, yeah. They do have they probably have the worst bread. I don't know where 7-Eleven gets its bread, but
for their sandwiches or to just buy as a loaf?
Even when it's dry, it tastes like it's wet. You know, like it's.
Oh yeah, but I kind of love a gas station sandwich.
I actually got food poisoning from a gas station sandwich one time.
Could you tell that you were going to be getting food poisoning as you were eating it? Like, did it taste off?
Yes. Like the meat tasted metallic, and I felt like I was in Cuba for 3 minutes, and then I just kind of got on the. But the funny thing is, like, I was working this job trimming trees. I did it for like maybe 2 years. I would like trim trees. It was okay, like. But I worked with this guy that was like a huge asshole. Like and I knew that, and so he was usually screwing around with me, like he was just a dick. And then, that's why, because I got food poisoning, and then he didn't even, like, I was like, and he was like, so then like 2 months later, I knew he was getting 10,000 safety phone to have nobody on his crew be injured in that. And I was like, you're gonna have to take me to the hospital. My back's kind of fucked up.
Oh, I love it. I only heard part of that story, but the gist of it that I got is that you fucked him over at the end.
Screwed a person with a family of $5,000 because he didn't care that I was puking. So I'm basically Donald Trump.
Or Jason Kenney. Nobody likes Jason Kenney. Even the ones that liked him don't like him right now.
I like skinny Jason Kenney. Like, you and Jason Kenney have a lot in common body-wise.
Oh, fuck you. No. I haven't.
You guys both were big, and now you're.
We both were big, and now that's my favorite. When people like will comment, "Oh, you looked good then, and you look good now," and I'm like, "Wow, I know."
Well, no, but they have to say that, right? Because the alternative is to say, "Wow, it's shocking the difference," and then you're going to be like, "You thought I was gross, you."
How fat was I?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Totally.
The people who are like, wow, you look so much better, are basically saying you looked awful before and now you're all right.
Yeah.
All they're trying to say.
I mean, like, I didn't look great before. I know there's this whole body positivity movement, but as somebody who has been bigger and now I'm smaller, I can say that I'm very happy that I'm smaller.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't choose to go back and be chubbier even though I can get clothes anywhere now and it's all inclusive and stuff, I wouldn't choose to get fat again. I would choose to get thinner.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that you're all is that food is great, especially Corona, like COVID-19.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, my COVID diet is fucking everything I eat has a bone in it, you know?
I've ordered a lot of food. That's where I'm like, that's where the stimulus money is going, like from me to skip the dishes, from the government to me to skip the dishes.
Think about how many fucking lowlives like us are out there, and you're like, this isn't even a pay cut, man. I'm feeling good.
This is more money than I usually make.
Like the average Albertan looks at $2,000 and they're like, $2,000.
This is nothing.
Can't even make a boat payment with that. I can't even seal off the rear side of my hot tub with that money.
No, I think that this is like, this whole thing is good for the middle class. It might bring the middle class back.
The problem is it's gonna, like, you know, the downside is all those small businesses that were already kind of being hollowed out are now, the process of that is like expedited, right? We're now, you know, coming out of this. If it takes a year, like if social distancing is in place for a year, there's going to be like 4 companies that own everything because they're the only ones that could weather the storm. Everybody else just ran out of money.
That's true. It
So
can't just bail out everyone.
So the Mexican restaurant you go back to is going to be called like Amazon Chacha or something, you know?
Amazon Chacha.
It's going to be owned by Amazon or Walmart.
Look at my fucking dog.
Yeah, Kathleen, I was going to say, your fighting is very loud.
Oh, okay. Get out.
What the fuck?
I have terrible children.
Like, are they... Is that their version of play, or are they trying to murder each other?
No, that's how they play. They think it's fun.
Looks like murder.
It does, and it sounds like murder. Okay, stop. Be quiet. My friends are all with kids. They're always like, oh, my kids won't leave me alone. And then I'm like, I know my dogs won't leave me alone either. But they won't. They won't. Like, everybody keeps talking about how, oh, my pets are like, what are you doing here? All of my pets are like, this is awesome. You're like a human couch. Like,
oh, yeah, no. Our
they'll
pets,
all come and sit on me.
Yeah, our pets are not having a problem with it at all.
No.
That's life is getting petted, and they can always leave and go somewhere else and sleep. It's not like they're trapped.
No, they're fine. But how is that educating your kids going? Because I have friends that are like, I'm not a teacher. This is so stupid.
The problem is, like, just I get so mad at technology so fast. So, like, if somebody says, oh, submit this assignment, and I can't find the button for how to submit that assignment, like, I'm ready to fucking throw the computer out immediately.
Oh, no.
So I have no techno patience at all. So
No techno patience.
But it's not like my kids are okay. Like, it's like an hour. If you were working a job and you had to educate your kids, like, it would suck. But
yeah,
it's the only thing you have to do all day. It's not that bad.
But what do you have to do? Like, do you just turn the computer on for them?
Well, my oldest one, you just turn the computer. Like, you always have 2 competing problems that have the same end, which is one kid knows how to navigate it, but he's probably lying to you about having everything done.
Yeah.
And then the other kid needs your assistance to get anything done. So you have to check the one kid to make sure that he's not lying, and then help the other kid actually do it. Because the older one's always lying.
I have been so happy that I'm childless throughout this whole thing.
Now's a good time to have one.
No.
Baby Kathleen.
Oh, God. Let's hope not. That'd be horrifying. To come out of this pregnant, that'd be awful. Because you know why? Because then, I can finally get up and do stand-up. No, I can't because I'm pregnant.
Oh, guess that won't happen for 18 years.
Yeah, exactly. Then my life is over because
Hopefully I'm not fat then.
Hopefully I'm a skeleton by then.
Well,
I had a birthday.
Did you really? Well, happy birthday. How old are you? You're not that old, are you?
I'm 39.
Okay.
So that's getting up there. But I tried to do a Zoom party, and I could, like, I'm not good with technology. Jim even tried, and he's like, I can't get in.
I tried to get on, but it's like the host is on another call.
Yeah. And it didn't work.
I mean, that's the fun thing about something like COVID is you get to watch the people who understand technology take over the world more rapidly.
Yeah, it's
Right?
true.
Like all these Luddites like us are like, what button?
That's totally.
Younger people are like, ha 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 ha, and then they just do it in 3 seconds, you know? So like,
Yeah, this is making me feel really old. That's what COVID is doing. It's making me feel like an old, useless person.
we already had to have younger people shitting on us, laughing at us about not needing technology, but we used to be able to say like, well, I don't need it because I go out in the fucking real world, idiot.
now no
we
one
can't
does.
go out in the real world anymore. So all these young people are like, hey, oldie, let me help you with that.
Hey, oldie.
And that's the thing too, is like with whatever, if there's like a new online wave of stand-up, there's not going to be any 30 and 40 and 50-year-olds in that game.
Oh,
you know?
no.
Like they're going to be like the people taking over stand-up, if it becomes an online game, are going to be between the ages of 15 and 24. They're going to be kids.
And they're going to do it on TikTok.
And they're going to know how to do it. And we're going to what's the edit? How do you edit?
What's a transition?
How do you edit that?
I don't want to transition.
You're going to have so much trouble making content. And then some of the better ones are going to be able to like pay people to do it, or like but I mean, we're going to run out of that money.
Yeah.
So even the comics with like a lot of times when you see an older comedian with a great online presence, it just means they're loaded. Just means they're successful enough to pay somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of us end up with a Comedy Factory looking website.
An Angel Fire. Isn't that what that was called?
I mean,
Angel Fire.
For those of you who
tell everybody.
You've got to go to the comedyfactory.com. I mean,
is it .com or .ca?
Oh, it's com. They got the com.
You paid extra for the com.
If COVID's got you down, I want you to go and check out the comedyfactory.com because it is the original, like it's original. That's what websites looked like when there were first websites, like toddk.ca.
He built that website?
No.
Oh.
But you remember that was the first time we'd heard of comedians having websites. What year was that? That was like maybe 06.
Well, I started in like 2008. My dogs are going at it again. Hey. Sorry. I'm a bad parent. Hey. I just threw a lighter.
At least you can sort of hit dogs without worrying
about.
No,
you can't hit dogs.
You can hit them. You should hit them.
I can tap them. You can tap them, but you can't hit them.
No, you should punch them in the nose, right where it's wet.
No. What was I talking about? I don't remember right now.
Probably yourself. No, I don't.
Well, I was probably. Can I tell you more about my birthday party that was weird?
Yes.
It's like you think it's going to be fun, but then you're just getting drunk alone with your friends watching you get drunk. Some of them were getting drunk too. But I had a friend from Calgary that was in the thing, and he ordered me a bottle of tequila through Skip the Dishes. So I got a bottle of tequila. Yeah, it was nice. But I don't do well with tequila. And I did like one shot. And then I think I did another one. And then I threw up in my sink. Yeah. But in my defense, I thought it was a 1 ounce shot glass, but it was like it was like an American one. It was like a 2 shot. I didn't realize that. But I know some people, like, I just kind of disappeared for a few minutes, but I'm pretty sure like a lot of people could faintly hear me vomiting in my sink. I think Paul Meyerhog was there at the time.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to find the mute button when you need to vomit. Just press that mute button and then.
At least I didn't vomit on camera.
39
years old. I heard of people vomiting on camera on parties, but I guess like that's the new way to party now too.
Just vomiting on keyboards. It's funny because that's like, we think you're gonna rise to, that's how you're gonna rise to fame. Forget all your material. It's just gonna be you puking on
vomiting
and then going, oh no, this laptop's new. This is his laptop. Uh-oh.
I also tried to start an OnlyFans page, and it's like, I think I've got it started, but I don't know how to get people to pay to see stuff. And all I did was put up a picture of a turkey so far.
You can usually tell a comedian's broke during COVID by how quickly they have a Patreon account.
Yeah, that's true.
They go straight to Patreon. They're like, you're going to have to pay for this now, bitch, because I lost my pizza delivery driving job.
And it's so hard to like ask for money to do shows because no one has money. But I don't know. It's a very... Well,
and you're also competing, like when you're competing in a stand-up comedy club, you know, you're competing against other people that can get up there and do stand-up. But when you're competing in a world where it's all online content, how can you say like, hey, pay me for my content, even though we're in a landscape of like trillions of other things you could look at? And then you're going to sit there and say like, mine, you should probably pay for mine.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems weird.
I don't think like I've seen people say, oh, like rich comics are like doing special shows and like, ooh, a $5 donation to the SPCA or something. But like, yeah, there's no money to be made in online entertaining.
Remember when you complained about how there was no money in Canadian stand-up, and now we've dropped the Canadian and put in online?
Online entertaining. There's no money.
Online stand-up, man. There's a lot of good comedians online, but nobody respects us.
It's true. It's very true. But yeah, no, so now people are resorting to like, so there's do you know what OnlyFans is?
No.
It's just like, so girls, well, it was made, I don't know who it was made for, but a lot of girls go on there and like they're famous girls and they'll go like take pictures, like topless pictures and put it up there and people will pay to see it anyway. But now more people are doing it and it's not about webcam girls anymore. But I was going to do it and just put like weird pictures on it that are like awkward. I don't know. But I can't figure out how to attach the banks. Well,
I really think if you want to set yourself apart, you should do stand up and take your clothes off.
No.
Well, just on that, I mean, I'm not saying if you're going there, then
no. But I was never gonna go there. I was just gonna put like I was gonna put stupid pictures like of me with a banana in my mouth or something, and then somebody who paid $20 to see that would be pissed off at me. But I don't care.
It's your account. Do what you want. You're the only one that knows the password.
I get asked on a daily basis for nudes now that this has started.
Really?
Yes, from strange people.
I'm not saying that that's ridiculous. I'm just saying that that's wrong. I'm just, why are they doing that?
Because
they should, but why? It's rude, isn't it?
It's very rude, and I get it on a daily basis. Just like, and it's always like, oh, are you going to start posting nudes? Ha ha, LOL, ha ha ha. It's very annoying. So I thought I might as well.
These aren't DMs? Like you're not getting DMs?
No, they're
weirdos?
DMs. Yeah, I
really?
get DMs from weirdos on a daily. Yeah, so many.
Daily? Really?
It's gotten worse because everybody's at home bored and nothing to do. So some guys at home be like, well, I'm going to try and talk to this person. And I'm kind and I message people back, but then you know that I'm sick of you if I just only favorite your comments. Right?
Oh, like, is that your trick? That's your game. A lot of creeps know that.
Everybody should know that.
No, creeps can't break that code. They're like, she favorited it. That means better than like.
Oh, no. Is that, oh, God. So they think that's better?
They probably do. That's
than actual words?
Yes. They're probably like, wow, she just loves it.
Well, you do have the mind of a creep, so it probably.
And the body of a creep.
You're 100% creep.
I actually have the body of a creep and the mind of a young girl.
Why is your mind a young girl's mind?
I'm always skipping. You know what I mean? Always skipping around. I think I might have ingested a lot of like I had a sore throat and I think it was just from asbestos in my basement or something, you know?
You have asbestos?
I didn't think I did, but I got this sore throat and then somebody was like, well, that looks like it might be asbestos. And I was like, wow, okay, well, so I guess that's where the sore throat came from. But I'm sure when you get a sore throat from asbestos inhalation, it's like not that dangerous, right?
No, it'll just give you throat cancer in 2 years.
Okay. I saw
That's all it'll do.
It's so funny to see like how we view scientists in every scenario. Like we just bring them in and expect them to fix everything. Like imagine if you were smart enough to be a scientist, how much you would hate regular people. Because every time something like in Chernobyl, it's like this reactor goes off and there's this massive fire and everybody's just scientists come in and they're like, just fix it. Fucking you nerd. You didn't fix it. Work. Like,
come on, you nerds. Hey.
We're the real cool dudes. We just need you to fix the biggest problem we've ever faced, dork.
But who wasn't it scientists that saved us in Armageddon? Oh no, it was the riggers, the oil riggers.
Oh, what did they do?
They drilled right into the. So a lot of Albertans love that movies because Bruce Willis was an oil guy and he drilled into the middle of the asteroid and then they blew up the asteroid from inside. And then he died and then Ben Affleck married his daughter.
Wow.
That's the whole plot of Armageddon.
That's when you know that's when you know if you're Bruce Willis, that's when you know that your career is at a certain point where you're like, you're not the hero anymore. You're the old guy that dies first. There's a point in the movie about 93% of the way in where the thing's going to kill everybody unless you sacrifice your life to stop it. And then it'll get stronger after. And then the real guy has to kill it.
Yeah. And you'll be dead.
You and Bruce.
You'll be
dead
gone.
Old guy. And right before you died, you looked over and said, "You're good enough for my daughter." And then I was wrong about you the whole movie. Go ahead.
I watched Breaking Bad again, the whole thing.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You get time for this. I'm breathing in asbestos.
It took me about a week to get through it. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't pay attention to every episode. Like, I'd be, like, watching it, and then I'd be on my phone, and then I would have missed about 20 minutes. I'm like, who's this person? And I'm like, well, I'll figure it out later. I didn't go back and watch it again.
I've tried to, I mean, I've watched a few, like, you know, Ozark, Narcos Mexico is good.
Yeah.
Narcos Mexico, 2 seasons of that. That was a solid, like, there's lots of good, I mean, I'm watching
Vikings.
Watching the Newsroom because I never that when it came out. You
like Vikings?
I did. I would just fast forward the sex scenes because it got a little much, you know. But
you're the only person I've ever heard that like fast forwards through sex scenes. Like I've never heard of anybody. Everyone that's like
even when I'm by myself. It's not like I'm embarrassed that other people are like, oh, I'm watching it and they're watching it. If I'm by myself, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna fast like. It looks like they're going to start to make out, and that might end in. As soon as they start to make out, as soon as they move in to make out with each other, I fast forwarded until it's the next scene where it's the next. Even if I miss dialogue, I don't care about bedroom dialogue. Nothing ever advances a story. It's always like a guy laying next to a girl, like, so did you find that guy last night? No, and then so I'm like, fuck, I don't need any of this shit either. I don't need the sex stuff or the bedroom talk. I don't need any of it. So I just fast forward until it's next day and they're in a car going somewhere.
Do you fast forward through porns?
No. No, I stay right to the front of it. I just watch the first 30 seconds of each video.
From start to finish.
It's like when they're getting to know each other.
What is?
I just like the part where they're getting to know each other. That's what I want.
In the porn?
Yeah. You know, just when they're on the couch talking about what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, you're into the whole storyline.
Yeah, I like the stories, the narrative.
Maybe, why don't you write some porn scripts? I bet you a porn script would be easier to write than a regular script.
Yes. Yeah, you're not going to get to the 7th beat of your C story. Pants back on by Act 2.
I think that's what somebody should make. Somebody should make like a porn that's like good, but then that's like a, but that's like got good actors and it's a series. Like, and you binge watch the porn.
I wish. Imagine, like, why doesn't like some of the richest men in the world, why don't they pay billions of dollars to have really good-looking actors and actresses participate in pornography,
Yeah.
right? Because then, I mean, think about how much that would be worth.
So much. But it's easy nowadays to just put anybody's face on anything. They have those, like, haven't you not seen that technology where they can, like, put someone's face on, but it's not really their body?
Oh, God. I can't wait. I mean, everybody's going to be a conspiracy theorist in 10 years. Like, everybody on Earth is going to have their own vein of, because they're just going to be like, look, that's the guy that runs WHO coming out of a parking lot in Thailand.
They started it.
That wasn't him. Like that.
Did you see that thing that, like, Kim Jong-un or whichever one he is, he said that America was going to get a Christmas gift from them?
That's kind of nice.
But he wasn't going to say what it was. So maybe COVID-19 is the Christmas gift from North Korea.
See, that's why you don't say what the gift is, so that when something happens, you can say, yes, we did it. But North Korea.
Why isn't anybody taking credit for this?
So shitty that even if they were like, yeah, it was a bioweapon that we created, even conspiracy theorists would be like, no, you didn't. You guys can't do that. We don't respect North Korea. They're weird.
They are weird.
Even the people. I'm just like, get out of there.
Get out of there. Don't they get killed if they try to get out of there?
No, they got a bridge. You can just go right to South Korea, but they choose to stay. No, you'll be shot if you try to leave.
Do you think bats have gotten cocky? Do you think they're, like, flying around feeling a little bit more dangerous?
It's definitely, I'm sure that they've upped their cocky game. I'm sure there's some swagger back in the cave.
I bet.
Got swag back. But, I mean, imagine being a human. But the next time you see a bat, what are you going to do? Like, it's fucked bats. Like, now we're going to be like, okay, roast that cave, kill them all. Like, we can't afford to have bats around here.
I don't think we're going to exterminate bats.
We're not
going to have a bat holocaust after this.
Like, holocaust. They'd look weird in pajamas anyway.
I mean, I'm surprised that Trump hasn't said something. Pajamas, Sean. Oh my God. I'm surprised that Trump hasn't said something like, let's kill all the bats. I'm surprised that hasn't happened.
I'm sure if you went back in his Twitter feeds to 2012, it would be somewhere in there.
About killing bats?
Yeah, because he wants to, I mean, he's definitely he's going to blame China, a bioweapon, and then he's going to roast a bat for sure.
He's going to kill a lot of bats.
Oh, he's going to try to make a terrorist bat, like he's going to try to turn a bat into a public enemy number one.
Make an example.
He's had those conversations where he's like, can we find the bat who did this and then blow up the country that bat lives in, like Afghanistan? He wants like a George W. Bush win on this after 9/11 with the bullhorn and going to Afghanistan. Like, he wants that. He wants
to look like a hero.
He wants to go and lob a couple missiles at China and just see what happens. Like, blame them for a bioweapon attack and then attack them.
He's terrifying. Do you think that Biden is going to beat him? That's such a stupid thing now, because all these people that wanted Bernie Sanders are like, well, I'm not going to vote. Like, okay, so this is how he wins again then, you dummies.
I think if after 4 years of Trump, you're not thinking like, I'll vote for whoever the hell the other person is, then you're crazy. Like, why would you, Joe Biden, whether you like Bernie or not, he's a million times better than Trump. So you have to vote for him. Like, you just have to. Because he's going to put, the thing about a guy like Biden, even, people have said, oh, he has dementia, but it doesn't matter if he has dementia, because all he has to do is put real professionals in charge of all of these things in the federal government and then just delegate everything.
To be the president or the prime minister, it's not the best politician. It's like the best person that can talk and like is likable, and that's why Justin Trudeau is doing. I think he's fine. Like, he's just like being likable. He's making us laugh by the moistly comment.
He stays on script. Like, that's what we miss when we have a guy like Trump, is like somebody who just, all you got to do is stay on script, dude. You're the pretty boy. Because really it is like it's an acting job, because
It
all
is.
it's just a matter of like, are you the kind of person who looks like you are empathetic to people, right? Like the best politicians are the ones who just look and sound the most empathetic, and the policies that they're actually implementing can be anything. They can be for the people, they can be against the people. You just have to get behind a microphone and sound like you get people, and you feel sorry for them. Trump, that's where I can't believe Trump's rise in politics, because he does not have any ability to make people think that he's empathetic towards them. Nobody. Like there's nobody who's taken solace in something that he said during this. Like nobody.
Not during this. During his election they did, but not during this.
No, like even if you're a Trump, this is the worst catastrophe that could have happened to Trump. It's terrible for the world, but for Trump,
yeah,
he almost got away with it, right? He was like 3+ years into gutting everything, and then having it not matter that all these regulations had been removed, and all the professionals had been gutted from the system and replaced by people that he had just brought in himself, that were people that agreed with him on Twitter, and it hadn't caught up. And it probably would not have caught up to him. But then COVID just lays it to bear for everybody. Like, look, he got rid of this, he got rid of that, he got rid of everything.
But now he's even doubled down. He's appointing Vince McMahon to a post-COVID committee. Like it's almost like he's like, well, let's see if I can do this. Like it's crazy. It's insane.
Even you got like Jared Kushner as part of the. Can you imagine if Obama had put his daughter in charge? And I know she was younger at the time, but imagine Obama with like a 24-year-old daughter, putting her in charge of the response to the financial crisis in 2008 when he was elected. Like people gone fucking bananas. He would have been impeached immediately.
They keep saying stuff like this, and that like if they had done this and that, they don't care. They don't even look at it that way. They're just like, oh no, there's no such thing as nepotism for them or anything like that. Like it's
well, they're just like, well, if it wasn't them, that's who Donald trusts, and if Don trusts him, then so do I.
Maybe this is, you know what? Have we talked about the theory of like this is going to kill off a lot of baby boomers?
Yeah, but not the racists. Apparently, it's not touching racists.
It's not touching racists.
Wouldn't that be weird if in the we look at this a year later and like apparently no racists died? So
the world is more racist than ever.
Yeah.
Kanye West stated that he wants to vote for Trump again. He literally was like, he's brought the real estate market back and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? No, what?
Could that guy make himself more unpopular? Like if he just made music.
But people still like, doesn't matter. Separate the man from the music. He's a genius. I'm like, but he's crazy.
Well, now Joe Biden and like accused of sexual assault. So that makes things weird.
Oh yeah. I don't know enough about that to say. I've heard that he was one of those guys that likes to walk up behind girls and massage them and stuff like that. But I don't think he's raped a woman. I don't.
No, he's been accused of actually like sexually assaulting a woman, but who knows? But yeah, there was like long rumors about him being a hair sniffer, which is that is. I don't know too many hair sniffers that aren't also forward in other areas. Like if you're willing to go up and sniff a woman's head, you're probably pretty grabby and touchy, and you're going to send DMs.
I hate to tell people I guess Louis C.K. has his new special out, and my friend sent me the link. I haven't watched it yet, but they're still trying to end his career. But it's like, if I told you how many, a lot of people's comedy heroes would be ruined if they found out the kind of stuff that they did in their personal lives.
Well, and what's like cancel culture in COVID is kind of over.
You can't call and the thing about
Louis puts his album out online and you either watch it or you don't.
Exactly.
You can't be canceled, you're just, there it is. Like it or hate it.
Maybe this will be good. Maybe people are going to be allowed to like what they want to like And I don't know. I've heard it's very good though.
You should run. I think you're fine. You should run to Fort Saskatchewan.
Run to Fort Saskatchewan. Would you give me a ride home? No.
Not right away. Not immediately.
Well, you ran here. You might as well run home. I'm not training for a marathon. I'm training to run 5 kilometers.
Yeah, you're all over the place with this. Like, you've puked in a sink. You're running 5K. Like, you're really running the gamut of COVID.
I think I finally know what it's like to be bipolar. I'm not kidding you. Like, one minute I'm gonna be like, yeah, and the next minute I'm like sobbing in my bed. And I've never been like this before, but it's just like there's so many different ranges of emotion and like,
somebody shared a picture today that was like, it wasn't. I thought it might have been Jim, but I think it was like Matt Labuki or somebody posted something about like, hey, are you feeling down from all this isolation? And then they posted pictures of like animals in zoos. And I'm, oh yeah, of course. Like, you forget like these animals are just like trapped in these forever. Like there's no way out. Like we're like,
yeah, they had no choice.
Can't do this for another week. Let's go to the Calgary Zoo where they do it all year.
That is a really good point. But humans we think we're special.
And also, like, for those animals, like, sometimes we look at them and we look at their space and we go, oh, like, they've still got a pretty good little space there. But that's like somebody coming to your house and going like, well, you're not trapped inside. I mean, you got 2 rooms in here, bitch. Like, what do you need? Like,
it's a nice two bedroom. Yeah, I wish this is the best time to be rich. Can you imagine if you had a pool right now?
Or if you could just fly to one of your like properties.
But nobody can fly right now.
Or just drive. A lot of people are doing that. Like rich people.
Those people are assholes.
I mean, you'd probably you'd do it. I would do it, probably.
Well, but they keep on, like, because, I don't know, they keep saying you should not be going from big cities to smaller communities because you could bring it to a smaller community that doesn't have the resources out there to deal with a huge outbreak. And then all these, I'm just going to my summer home now. And I saw like posts from people that lived on the Sunshine Coast on Easter weekend. The ferries were full.
Really?
They should not have been full. People were like going on vacation. They were all going to the island. They were all going to the Sunshine Coast. And all these people like, please don't come in full force out here and bring your sickness out here. There was like this couple from Quebec that had a dream that they should escape COVID by going to this place I think it's called Old Crow, which is north of Whitehorse. So they flew into this like tiny community with, I think, like maybe a couple hundred people in it. And everybody noticed. They're like, who are these 2 weird people? And they're like, oh, we're just here looking for a job. And the people literally took them and threw them in an apartment above a grocery store until they could figure out how to get them out. Because it's like, what if those 2 had it? And they come and spread it up to a place that doesn't have medical supplies or medical facilities because they had a dream to go live off the land. That's the other thing. They wanted to go live off the fucking land.
That's what I find interesting about these is like you get whenever somebody like there'll be like people that shit on COVID and they were like, oh, I'm not gonna get social distancing, who cares? And then they get it and they die and we're like, ha ha, and it's like, what do you mean? Like, that's a dead person. That's somebody.
It's happened a lot though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they didn't deserve to die, like, especially for some of them at the beginning before we even really knew. Because I mean, Rudy Gobert, like the basketball player that like made fun of COVID and then got COVID, like he did. What the hell did he know? He was just like making fun of this thing. Nobody'd ever.
We were all making fun of it before, like the couple days before it. I was like, just go out and just have common sense. Like, stop being so weird. Like everybody was making fun of it.
In Nicaragua, they're still doing that. Like in Nicaragua, there is no social distancing.
Oh my God.
They're having like parties and stuff. Like the city's trying to like, or the country's trying to pretend like it's not even real. They're
oh my God.
They haven't tested anybody.
And nobody's sick there yet?
Oh, I'm sure they're dying of it all the time, but they just call it fucking whatever else. They just call it pneumonia.
I heard that some country was saying that when people die of it there, they count it as recovered because they don't have it anymore.
I mean, they're fully recovered.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I guess we should probably let Jim get ready for his show.
He's got his online show. This was like I don't know. This was all right. I should get higher next time. Maybe I'll be funnier then.
I think this was better than the last one.
It was better a little bit. Yeah. We didn't have a scratchy ticket though. I forgot to get one, and I'm assuming you did too. But
I didn't.
Which 7-Eleven do you buy your scratchy tickets from? The condom 7-Eleven?
Condom one, yeah. Condoms. Condoms, lottery, and AA batteries.
Hey, so I'm going to plug this. You can find me running along where the LRT is at least once a day.
Oh.
So that's where I run. There's nobody ever there. It's awesome, actually.
So follow me on Street Corner.
Follow me on the street corner. And
follow me on the street.
Sean, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
No, I got nothing going on. Unless
you got new windows.
Somebody has a deal on flooring. No, I already have some flooring. But yeah, I've done a lot of demo work, and it's the only thing I can do, and I still suck at it. Even taking stuff apart, it takes me longer than it would take a smart person.
But that's okay, because you got nothing but time.
No, I don't. I'm busy around here, Kathleen. I got to teach children. I got to run to Home Depot. It's not easy. So, Jim, are you headlining the show?
Yes, whatever that means in this new world.
Yeah, how much time do you have to do?
Well, I think even in online comedy, we're going to stick with the last person's called headliner. I demand that stays the same.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm doing 15, but I think they want to split it into 3 5s. I don't know what. That's not a good idea, but we'll see.
Okay. The comedy credits that are going to come out of this though are going to be amazing. It's going to be headlined my aunt's Zoom party.
I know. Well, I'm basically pro now, so.
Pro.
But he's pro, man. It's the great leveler. COVID's the great comedy leveler, man. It really is. Who's a headliner now, bitch?
Still not me, but we'll see.
Well, no one's going to sit and watch somebody for 45 minutes. So headlining now is 10 minutes.
Everybody's AAA on the computer.
We're all AAA now. AAA headliners.
All right. Well, thanks for getting together, everybody. Take care of yourselves.
You too.
Have a fun show tonight, Jim.
Thanks. Bye.
See you again.
Hope your second 5's the strongest.
Okay, bye.